All right, guys, we are going to work on closely viewing some pictures like researchers. Researchers look at pictures to learn things about them. And we're going to be learning about feathers and beaks. We're going to start with beaks. I am going to show you an example of how I want you to do close viewing. And when this is done, you're going to do some close viewing of your own. So listen carefully to my example so you're going to know what to do when it becomes your turn. All right, so this is our close viewing chart. Let me move myself smaller now. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is zoom in on one part of the picture. That doesn't mean you literally zoom in. That means you just focus on one part of the picture. And right now, we're focusing on beaks. When you do it on your own, you're going to be doing beaks first, then feathers. But for my example, I'm just going to do beaks. So you're going to zoom in and focus on whatever it is you're focusing on. I'm focusing on beaks. And then you're going to look closely at the details in just that part of the picture. So if you're focusing on beaks, you're not looking at the feathers or the feet or the wings or the colors of the feathers or the eyes, nothing. You're just looking at the beak. And then when you're doing feathers, you're just going to be looking at the feathers. And then it says, think about what those details helped you learn. So researchers learn things from pictures, and they learn things by looking closely at the details. So you're going to be thinking about, what can I learn from this picture about beaks or feathers if you're doing feathers? And then it says, tell a partner about your details. When you talk to your partner, it can be somebody in your house, you're going to tell them what you noticed. And you're going to say it in a complete sentence. I noticed blank. You might notice the size of the beak, or the shape of the beak, or the color of the beak, or maybe you might think about what that beak is used for. Why does their beak look like that? You might also have questions and wonder about things. And then when you're done looking at the pictures, you're going to draw and write a note about the details. So I'm going to get started on this pelican beak. So the first step is to focus on just one part of the picture. Which part am I focusing on? Yeah, the beak. So you're going to focus on the beak, and then you're going to notice the details in that. So I'm looking carefully at the details, and I notice that this top part of the beak is skinny and long, and it has a little curved thing on the end like that. And then on this part, I notice that this part is skinny and long also, but then it's got this pouch looking thing underneath it. So I think that maybe that might be used to hold something, like maybe food. I noticed that the beak is like a whitish color, like white, or it's got a little bit of pink in it also. So I noticed a bunch of things about this beak. Then I'm going to talk to my partner about what I noticed. But I'm all alone in my classroom right now. There's no partner in here. But when you're at home, you can talk to your partner about what you notice. And after you talk to your partner, you're going to choose one of the beaks that you looked at, and you're going to write in your workbook. Your workbook, I'm going to make myself bigger now to show you that. Your workbook page looks like this. There's a part for beaks, and there's a part for feathers. You're going to do just the beaks part first. After you look at all the beaks, you're going to do the beaks part. And then after you do the feather part, you're going to look at the feathers, and you're going to do the feathers part. Now, your pictures are going to be different than mine. You're not doing a pelican beak. You have a kingfisher beak, and you have I think a hawk and a hummingbird. So you're not doing a pelican. Now, if we look at this picture, I mean, if we not the picture. If we look at the words, it says I notice blank. Mine is a pelican. This is not a pelican. That's just reminding you that we're talking about beaks. But I'm talking about the pelican. So I noticed. Now, think about what I was noticing when I was talking. And you don't have to write the whole sentence, you just have to finish the sentence. So it says, I noticed blank. I'm going to write, I noticed that at space beaks beaks can n be long long and thin. I meant large. No, I want to say large because that bottom part was so large. 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 Period. So this is what I wrote. I noticed that beaks can be long and large. If you see, I wrote that beaks can be, because not all beaks are long and large. So that's why I didn't write that beaks are long and large, because if I wrote are, it might sound like every beak is long and large, and not every beak is long and large. Then it says sketch. A sketch is like a quick picture. We're going to sketch the beak of whichever one you wrote about. So if you write about the kingfisher, you're going to sketch the kingfisher beak. If you write about the hummingbird, you sketch the hummingbird beak. If you write about the hawk, you sketch the hawk beak. I wrote about a pelican, so I'm going to sketch the pelican beak. Now, I'm just doing a quick drawing, and I'm not really that good at drawing. So I'm going to draw a long top part that has kind of like a hook on the end. And then I'm going to draw a long bottom part. And then I'm going to draw a large pouch. All right. So that is my drawing of a pelican's beak. Now you're going to do this on your own. This is on page 15. You're going to do the beaks after you closely view the beak pictures. Then you're going to closely view the feather pictures, and you're going to do the feathers. All right. That's it for our close viewing today. Bye.